Hey everybody, Mark Wilson here, and this is my annual Footesachabology prediction, the science of predicting Super Bowl outcomes using biblical prophecy. Now, this requires a great deal of skill and expertise, and just not anybody can do Footesachabology. It takes years and years of study. But I'm glad to report to you that I've done the deep digging and I think I've unlocked the hidden secrets that most people would not see from the Bible about who will win this year's Super Bowl. Would it be the Seattle Seahawks or the New England Patriots? Now, at first glance, one might think it's got to be New England because Revelation 21:5 says, "Behold, I make all things New England, all things New England." And in Genesis chapter 15, of course, we find the birds of prey that come in. Seahawks are like birds of prey, and Abraham chases them away. So it's sort of like a chasing away of the birds of prey. But see, we must understand that we have to interpret things. We have to look deeper than just the first reading of the text. In fact, it requires much interpretation because neither the word Seahawk or Patriot shows up in the Bible. However, words like hawks and birds of prey and carrion and nations and people. So we're going to have to do some digging to find the answers here. Now, Job 39:26 through 30 gives us a little bit of a clue. Basically, it says this: Does the hawk take flight by your wisdom and spread its wings towards the south? Now, think about this for a minute. Santa Clara, the location of the Super Bowl, is 834 miles directly south of Seattle. I think that we have a very strong clue here. Does the eagle soar, it says, or the Seahawk soar at your command, build its nest on high? Do you see, like, getting a higher score? It dwells on a cliff and stays there at night. A rocky crag is its stronghold. It's going to be tough and a stronghold here for Seattle. And from there it looks for food. Its eyes detect it from afar. Its young ones feast on blood, and where the slain are, there it is. Its young ones feast on blood. Now this is significant because Seattle's defense is among the youngest in the NFL. Now let's take a look at Sam Darnold, the quarterback for Seattle. You know, the Bible speaks a lot about Samuel, and I think we can draw some ramifications of that, some implications for us today. The Lord was with Samuel, it says, as he grew up, and Samuel Darnold has really come into his own just lately. He's growing up, and let none of Samuel's words fall to the ground. Like none of his passes will fall to the ground. And speaking of Samuel Darnold and passes, do you know that the books of First and Second Samuel, in those in the King James Version, the words "it came to pass" appear 60 times? It came to pass. It came to pass. It came to pass. Sam Darnold is going to come out passing. And Seattle star receiver Cooper Kupp, of course, remember these words, these precious words from Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane: "Let this cup pass from me." So it's a cup pass from me, Samuel Darnold. It's a cup pass, and he will score like some touchdown passes this way. It would score touchdowns through a Darnold to cup kind of situation. It says Samuel continued as Israel's leader, as the leader of the people, or the leader of the patriots, over the patriots, if you would say, all the days of his life. So throughout the game, it seems, at least until the very end, at least, that Samuel Darnold will be the leader in this thing. Now, Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 4, it says, "On the mountains of Israel, you." Now, who is this you? Well, the people. It's the patriots. The patriots will fall. You will fall, is what it says. You and all your troops, your offense and your defense, and the nations, that's it, is the patriots, once again, with you. I will give you as food to all kinds of carrion birds. Seahawks, there they are, the carrion birds, and feed you to the wild animals. I'll call out in Ezekiel 39, verse 17, I'll call out to every kind of bird and all the wild animals. Assemble, come together. all around for the sacrifice. So the team's gonna really come together. Seattle's gonna really come together, and it's just gonna feel like a brutal sacrifice. It's really gonna come together for these guys. And in Acts chapter 7 or 16, verse 37, Paul says to the officers, he says, they beat us publicly without a trial, without instant replays. There'll probably be a time, there will be a controversial call or whatever, but there's no allowance for the instant replay, even though we are Roman citizens, even though we are patriots. It says we were beat publicly, patriots beat publicly. There we have it right there in Acts chapter 16. Now, Drake May, of course, is the quarterback for the Patriots and just a fine young man, very young to be in the Super Bowl. And the scripture, of course, tells us, let no man despise thy youth. And it also says, may all the people praise you. May all the people praise you. And the people really will start praising May, and as he does some good stuff in the game. But let's look at the meaning of Drake May's name. Now, you might think the word Drake means duck, but it isn't a duck. Like he's not like a duck. He doesn't waddle. He's swift. And the name Drake literally means like swift or dragon. One of these two, swift or dragon. And Ecclesiastes 9:11 says the race is not to the swift. It's not to the swift. And Revelation 19:9 says the great dragon is hurled down. So once again, you see Drake May maybe being sacked and just kind of falling short. In fact, Psalm 109, it says, may his days be few. May another take his place of leadership. Maybe they'll even swap out quarterbacks halfway through the game, or at least in his leading in the stats. So far in the playoffs, he's number 4 in passing and number 5 in rushing. But other people are going to take his place in those kind of leadership. May ruin overtake him by surprise. May the net they hid entangle them. May fall into the pit. So you can see, I mean, it's not going to go good for Drake May. Now, on the other side, Seattle's leading rusher, Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, and what a runner he is. And of course, Isaiah chapter 40 kind of speaks to this. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk, Walker, and shall not faint. Now, how about that? There's Kenneth Walker who's running and walking. Proverbs 4:12, when you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, they will not stumble. So Walker's going to run. And then John 5:8, Jesus says, get up, pick up your mat, and walk. Walker. So it's going to be Walker just picking it up. He's going to pick up his game, and he's going to take it all the way into the end zone. But what about the Patriots rushing game? Maybe they're going to have a good rushing game. Well, Isaiah 17:12 says the opposite of that. It says, woe to the multitude of many people, the Patriots, you'd say, who make a noise like the noise of the seas, like Seattle. They seem like they're going to do it. And to the rushing of nations, once again, the rushing of the Patriots, that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. Woe to them, woe to them. So like you might think that you're a good rushing game like Seattle, but you're not. So Joel 2:9, it says, they rush upon the city. This is Seattle. They shall run along the wall. They shall climb in the houses like thieves. They'll enter the windows. The running game is going to go really strong for Seattle. And even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. And Drake May's the young man, he's going to get sacked. But those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength and mount up with wings as Seahawks. Well, as eagles, but you can Seahawks, close enough. Um, Now, penalties are going to do it in a big way against New England. It says in Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 31, rid yourself of all the offenses that you have committed. See, you shouldn't have had done these terrible, terrible penalties. It's going to really mess you up. Hey, you need to get a new heart and a new spirit, a new attitude. Why will you die, O citizens of Israel, O patriots? Why do you let the penalties take you down? So you have it here. It seems like the Seattle Seahawks are going to take this game. They're going to beat the Patriots soundly. So, according to First Chronicles 16:32, it says, "Let Seattle, or let the sea, or Seattle resound, and all that is in it, and let the fields," that's the football fields, "be jubilant, and everything in it." So there you have it. That's my prediction. Seattle's going to take the day.